Hi everyone, my name is Melissa and this is How to Adopt. Today's video is part 1 of 101 money saving tips. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe and write your best bad joke down in the comments below and I might pick yours for the next video. And with that, let's get started. Tip number 1 is to create your own budget. I've done a video for this in the past. It's my second video, so it's not great. But if you can be patient and watch it all the way through, it does have a lot of information there and it should give you a start on creating your own budget. Tip number 2 is to cut up your credit card or delete any of those cash apps that you have on your phone. The reason why I say this is because credit is designed to make you spend money that you don't have. Credit is not free money, it is money you don't have. So get rid of it and that will get rid of the temptation and the ability to spend money that you don't have. That will be a good first start to reducing your expenses. Number 3 is consolidating your debt. Now I'm talking about your personal loans, car loans, credit card debt, all of that stuff. Put it together into one loan with a low interest rate. You do need to do your research on this first though, and it can sometimes work out to be beneficial to leave some debt onto certain things. For example, if you have an interest-free period on a credit card, then there's no point putting that onto a loan that has interest. There are also some credit cards that give you a certain time period where you don't have interest for a while. So for example, 12 months. You've got 12 months to pay off the debt before the interest does kick in. The only thing I would warn you about that is that the interest rate, once the interest-free period is over, can be huge. So you really need to be on top of that. Now there are some calculators online that you can use to see which is the more beneficial for you. So I'll put those links down below in the description too. So this leads me to tip number 4. You need to check the fine print on your loans to see if and how much it is to pay off your loan early. There's usually a fee, particularly with those fixed interest rate loans, for paying anything early. So check your fine print, see how much it is, see if it's worth it. Now you might have a $10,000 loan that will be paid off in a couple of years that has an early payment fee of $900, and you might do the calculations and find out that that's actually worth it. While you might have a $1,000 loan with the same deal of having to pay $900 to pay that off and think to yourself, well, that's not really worth it. So you'll need to double check that and see if it works for you. Factor that in with the research that you do when you consolidate your debt and you'll be fine. So tip number 5 is late fees. I used to watch Divorce Court all the time and Judge Lynn, I believe her name was, would talk about a thing called the stupid tax. Paying your late fees is the stupid tax. You don't need to pay if you are on ball with what's happening. So check your bills and see if there are any late fees and make sure you don't have to pay them by paying late. Pay it early. Tip number 6 is all of your other fees. Bills have fees coming left, right and center. You need to be on top of what these fees are. Obviously you've got your paying off your loan early fee, you've got your paying your bills late fee. I actually had a fee of like 99 cents to pay my bill online. I got charged a fee for paying my bill. It's ridiculous, but I had to know it was there so I could factor it into costs. There are also lots of fees in just having your bank account. Your bank can charge a monthly fee just to have an account. My bank doesn't do that because I've done the research and I've found something that works for me. You need to do the same to make sure that what you have is working for you. Tip number 7 is to contact your bill companies and see if they have a payment plan available for you to use. This also avoids your late fees too. So For an example, if you get a huge bill, such as the $1,300 electricity bill, and you can't afford to pay that before it's due, call the company, tell them, I'm sorry, I can't pay for this right now. Can we work on a payment plan? Most companies are quite happy to do this and are more than understanding. So call them. Don't be shy, give them a call. They will work something out with you. Tip number 8. This is asking for a discount. Now, I know what some people are going to say. Only Karens ask for discounts, or choosing beggars. That's not the case. You are not a Karen if you ask for a discount. You're a Karen if you carry on and whinge and complain and talk to the manager over a discount that you're not entitled to. Asking for a discount might be something you are actually entitled to. There are concessions for Centrelink people sometimes. There are senior discounts. There are membership discounts. There are loyalty discounts. There are so many discounts and coupons and vouchers out there. So you're not going to know about that unless you ask. And sometimes just asking can give you that discount. If you go to a second-hand shop, it's almost expected that you will haggle just a little bit on the price. That's normal. There is nothing wrong to ask for a discount. You can even call your phone company and say, hey, can you give me a discount on this? If they say no, you just go, okay, thanks very much. End of story. As long as you're not a B word about it, it's fine. Tip number 9. Is it cheaper if you pay for the year? Now, there are a couple of bills that are like this. My example is my rego. If I pay my rego for the year, I end up paying less than what I would be paying if I paid for 3 months installments instead. So check your bills and see what you can get for a longer term if it's something you're going to use. Which leads us to tip number 10. Putting money aside for these large bills. I put aside $27 a fortnight for my rego and $32 a fortnight for my council rate. I overestimate because I like to do that. But by putting that small amount aside throughout the year, when the bill does come up, I can pay it all up front. If there's anything left over, it's all for me. And then it's done. I don't have to worry about it for a year. And usually I can save a bit of money just by doing that. So check yours and see if you can do that too. Tip number 11 is checking all your plans, such as your phone and internet, your insurances, your utility bills. See if they still work for you. See if they're still the best deal for you. And sometimes you can save money by bundling them together. For example, my husband organised it, but we have my car, his car, our house and land insurance and our contents insurance all with the same company, and we get a pretty decent discount for that. And we haven't found anywhere else that does it better. But in saying that, sometimes you'll find that paying more is actually better for you than paying less. For example, if you have a phone data account that gives you 2 gig for the month and you're regularly going over that and using 3 gig, then you might find upping that to be more cost effective. For example, if that extra gig costs you $10 on your $20 plan, you might find you get that extra gig, or sometimes even 2, for just $5 extra. So check yours and see if it works for you. Tip number 12 is to cancel any subscriptions that you're not using. For example, gym membership. Everyone gets a gym membership at the beginning of the year, use it for 2 weeks and then never go back again. Cancel it if you're not using it. Same with paying for TV. Do you really have to pay for TV? I'm okay to watch the adverts. It's the perfect time to have a toilet break. So if you're not using it or you don't use it very often, get rid of it. Tip number 13. And I can't believe that I have to say this, but I've heard so many stories, it's not funny. Secure your assets. And by assets, I mean your car, your home, your persons, your bag, your everything. The amount of stories I've heard where some person has left their car keys in their car, on their driveway, and then act surprised when someone nicks off with it in the middle of the night. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to victim blame here, but the fact is, there are people out there that will take advantage of any opportunity that presents itself. Make sure you're not presenting opportunities for people. Lock your doors, lock your windows, make sure you're safe whenever possible, and for goodness sakes, don't leave the door wide open for someone to come in and steal your brand new TV. When you get new stuff, cut the boxes up and stuff it in the recycling bin, because people will see a big box and go, I know what they've got, so get rid of it. Tip number 14 is having an emergency savings. I have an emergency savings account, and my best tip for this is to put it in a different bank altogether. Mine is a bank that's online only, so I have an auto payment that takes my money out of my bank and puts it in that bank, and I don't see it, I don't think about it, I'm not tempted to spend it. So do that for you. Build up as big as you can, even if you start with $5 a pay period. $5 a pay period can add up quickly, so do it as best as you can. Tip number 15 is make an emergency plan. This could be difficult for some people, so I'll be making a video in the future on how to handle an emergency situation. You might be thinking, why do I need an emergency plan, and how does that relate to saving money? Well, the reason why I say you need an emergency plan is because there is a part in your brain, which I can't remember the name of right now. Write me in the comments if you remember it, because I don't. And it will block your emergency, your logical decision-making part of your brain when you're under great stress. If you have a plan worked out before you're in this state, you are more easily able to go, okay, I've got this, I have a plan. And this will stop you from making poor decisions as much as possible. So you might already have decided, I have a family member who I can go to if my house burns down. I have no family, so I can go to a hotel room, and this is how much it costs, and this is how much I've got in my savings account. Or I don't have any clothes left because, like I said, my house is burnt down. I've got no clothes. My bag is luckily in my car, which I use to drive home. Thank goodness for that. Or I've gone for a walk around the block and my bag and my ID and all of that stuff was in the house and it just burnt down. What am I going to do? These are things that you need to think of before you end up in that situation. You make bad decisions and it costs you in the long run. And before you think, oh, that's what insurance is for, to cover all those costs. Not necessarily. Your insurance might not necessarily cover everything. They may be, well, they're going to be a bit stingy about it. And the fact is that these things take time. If you get in a car accident, you have to go to hospital and get blood tests done to make sure you're not under the influence. It can take 2 weeks just to do the test. And insurance money is not going to be handed over until you've been cleared on that test. So you need to think about these things. I mean, the reality is, if it wasn't for my husband and his family, I would have no one here to help me. I don't have family over here. I do have one friend who's lovely. She's fly in, fly out. And she actually has already helped me and my husband and our then 8-month-old baby when I was in hospital. She's amazing. You know who you are, darling. I love you so much. And not only did she help me and my hubby and our little girl, she made sure that my darling husband had support when she had to leave and I was still in the hospital. So make a plan, because when that happens, you're not going to be okay with making the best decisions at the time. And number 16 is the last one for today. It is to reevaluate all these points and all the future points that I will be giving to over and over and over again. Make sure you do this on a regular basis because things change. People get older, people have better jobs, people end up in horrible situations like 2020 has showed many of us. You get bigger families, you get less families, people die, people get divorced, things change. So you need to reevaluate everything repeatedly to make sure it still works for you. Because if it's not working for you, it's not working for your money. And there's no point working for money if it's not working for you. So today's joke is, what did the blanket say as it fell off the bed? Oh shit! If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Write me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.